Does a hearty Rick Case, good morning. How are you? Good. Welcome to another exciting day at NSU. I want you to get ready for an experience of a lifetime because very shortly you will hear from Grant Cardone. You hear more about him from Mr. Case in a few minutes. I am thrilled to recognize several special guests among us today. First of all, to recognize Rita Case. Ryan Case. Is Ryan here? Case, please. And I would like to also recognize the students here today. And because I want Mr. Cardone to see how excited the students are that you're here today. Students, please stand and be recognized. Thank you very much. I have several faculty members here today. I'd like to say a special thank you to Dr. Randy Sims, who brought her entire class in today, which is very nice. With the Huizenga School faculty and NSU faculty, please stand. We also have with us this morning Lydia Acosta. She's the Vice President of Information Systems and University Librarian. Lydia? And last but not least, Dr. George Hanger, President of NSU. And to all of our friends and guests, you are very special to NSU. Thank you for being here with us today. I am honored to introduce Nova Southeastern University trustee and 2001 Entrepreneur Hall of Fame member, Mr. Rick Case. Mr. Case is chairman and CEO of Rick Case Automotive Group, founded in 1962. That's when I had hair. He and his wife, Rita Case, operate 16 dealerships. Mr. Rick Case is well known and highly respected in the automotive industry, which he helped to transform. Mr. Case is also well known in our community, which he loves and serves with distinction. With all that he has accomplished and all that he has given, Mr. Case only wants to be known as a car salesman for 50 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rick Case.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. Wow. Isn't this a phenomenal sales institute? This absolutely is a phenomenal facility. You know, Nova had the foresight, like no other university, to realize that no matter what your career or what you're going to do in life, you have to know how to sell. Sales is the most important thing you need to know. Yes, you need to get educated on whatever your trade or career is going to be, but you need to know how to sell. And that is what Nova realized and made this Sales Institute. And my opinion is every student at Nova should come to the Sales Institute and go through it and learn to sell, because I guarantee you your career will be much more successful and you'll make a lot more money. The Rick Case Automotive Group has used Grant Cardone as one of our trainers, our main trainer, except for our people in our company, for many years. With almost 500 salespeople, we need somebody who is the best. Now, Grant is the biggest trainer of car salespeople all over the world. In fact, not just car salespeople. He has thousands of businesses that take his training and develop their company and make their company successful. Like I said, all over the world with his online training. Plus, he goes all over the world and he has a staff that goes on and does live training too. He's a phenomenal salesman, and he has done a lot for our company. We hold a lot of sales records today. Our dealerships are the biggest in the market, the biggest in the Southeast, some of the biggest in the country, and we owe a lot of that to the training that Grant has given our company. And today, you have a great opportunity to hear from the world's greatest salesman. So first, I want to make sure I go over this list here I put together of things that Grant's accomplished. I'm sure it's about 10%. I'm not going to get them all here, but I want to. First of all, the New York Times best-selling author of 5 books since the economic collapse in 2008, saving literally hundreds of companies from failing during the worst recession in our times. Self-made serial entrepreneur of multiple businesses, including consulting, software, and real estate. Executive producer of and star of TV reality business show The Turnaround King. Awarded #1 sales training company in the U.S. for multiple years. Named top business coach and the #1 sales expert to follow on Twitter. And addressed groups such as MIT, Google, Morgan Stanley, Young Presidents of America, U.S. Army, and on and on and on, too many to mention. And is regularly seen on Fox, NBC, CNBC, MSNBC, Bloomberg, Huffington Post, Entrepreneur Magazine, and Business Insider. Ladies and gentlemen, the world's greatest salesman, Grant Cardone.
Thank you very much. How's everybody doing? Great. Wouldn't you like to have a father like Rick Case? I'm telling you, man, he's a promoter. He gets behind you. He supports you. My dad died when I was 10 years old. And literally when I was 10 years old, I had the wish because I was a twin. I'm a twin brother. I have a twin brother. I am a twin. That makes me a twin. And my twin and I had an older brother that was 15, 2 sisters older than all 3 of us that had gone on to college, and a little 4'11" mother, Italian, no education, had never ever worked in the workforce, and she had to bring up 3 boys, 3 wild boys. Okay, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to give it to you up front. I'm a wild man. Okay. And my twin brother, identically wild, just in different ways. And my little mother had to bring up these 3 boys. And I remember being 10, 11, 12 years old thinking, man, one day I'm going to make it. One day I'm going to make it. And when I do, I'm going to be able to help other people. And literally that was a driving force because I missed my father and the mentorship and the direction of my father so much. I was like, man, one day I can't get my dad back. It's something you cannot negotiate with. Death is non-negotiable. And I said, one day I'm going to be in a position to help other people. Last week, a week and a half ago, I guess, I was at Morgan Stanley. You know who Morgan Stanley is? They brought about 125 of their top financial advisors together in a room. The average person in the room is making over $400,000 a year. They had people there making $800,000, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million a year, and they brought me in to talk to them about how they could expand. And I got to tell you, I'm more excited talking to you today than I was talking to them. Okay? So look, I'm a self-made guy. Rick references some of this, and I'm a self-made guy. I got out of college. I went to college because basically my mother said, look, you need to go to college. I didn't have this thing about going to college. It was like, it was the direction of my parents. My mother said, look, your dad said 2 things. You have to go to college. You have to go to college. You have to get a degree. And number 2, you have to learn how to sell. My father believed that if you knew how to sell, you could do anything, anywhere, anytime, any economy, anywhere in the world. He used to say, if you can sell your products and your services, you can't get away from it. You're going to get out of school, you're going to leave here, and you're going to be like, hey, can I sell myself? Can I convince somebody to hire me when people are like, I don't want to hire anybody right now? Because that's where you want to work. You want to work where they're not hiring, maybe. Okay, and I'm going to be talking about today, when you leave here, how can you get the job you want and the money you want, not just a job. When I got out of college, it was 24% unemployment where I lived. It was literally impossible to get a job. And my uncle told me, he's like, I had an accounting degree. And I got an accounting degree because I wanted a good job. Okay, the job I was offered when I got out of college was $14,000 a year to be an accountant. I'm like, oh my God, 14 grand a year. Now this was a while back, 25 years ago, but 14 grand has never been a lot of money. Right? You'd have to go back many, 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 many years ago, hundreds of years ago, where it doesn't matter to you because you're not going back that far anyway. So I get out of college. My uncle said, look, I literally couldn't get a job. I wasn't a great student. I'm not a real smart guy, okay? But so I'm basically in the marketplace because what they didn't get me ready for in the college that I was in, they didn't get me ready to get attention, to really build value, okay? To really get somebody's attention and really build value and understand how to actually close the most important sale of my life. That would be this. I want to work for you. Not everybody. I don't want to work in an industry. I want to work for this man. I got to get his attention. I got to build value in who I am. Not my education. Dude, everybody's getting in front of him's got an education. People don't hire smart people. If you're getting out of college, you're like, I'm smart. Okay, big deal. I got 3 companies. We just looked at 1,300 resumes. Okay, we did an ad here in Miami. I just moved my offices from LA. We came here, we ran ads for a bunch of different positions. We had 1,300 responses. Every one of those people saying they're smart. I don't hire smart people. I don't ask one person, what is your grade average? Don't care. That's what I want to talk to you about today. Because you're leaving smart. How many smart people in the room? Well, good. Nobody going to pay you for being smart. I was on Fox TV last week. Before the interview, they did not ask me how smart I was. They said, what do you have to say to our viewers? Okay? I grabbed a piece of the news and I want to get attention. Why do I want to use the news? Because I want to use the news to get attention. Okay? I don't watch news. I want to make news. You know, if you notice when Rick was talking about Grant's regularly seen on Fox and CNN's, after Fox, he could barely get the other networks past his lips. He couldn't say CNN, CNBC, MSNBC. It was like Fox. That's good enough, Grant, right there. Okay? So I want to show you a very important thing. I'm not going to show you this whole video, but I want to show you something that you have to be able to do when you go into the workforce. Okay? Let me see if I can play this video right here. It's going to be really a short piece here.
I'm Cardone. These are real people, real businesses. They're going under every day. I'm here to turn that around. I'm going to start with the business. I mean, if nothing changed here, though, 12 months at that, you got to get some hard eyes on the people and say, hey, somebody stabilize the markets when they.
Okay, so what am I doing right there? I'm getting attention, okay? The first thing a person has to do to be successful is they must get attention. They do not teach you this in college, unfortunately. Most colleges do not teach the ability to grab attention. You have to get people's attention. We live in a very noisy world, okay? If you're going out into the job market and you're looking for a job, do not think that you are competing with other people. You are not competing with other people. You are competing with noise. The noise of the world. If you were looking for a job 3.5 weeks ago when Sandy Hook went off, the chances of you getting a job while Sandy Hook was going off was almost impossible because millions of people sat in their homes mesmerized by this event that took place at this school in Connecticut, right? You couldn't get anybody's attention. So your number one competition in the marketplace when you leave college, if you ever choose to leave college, and then if you ever choose to leave your parents' home, your number one competition, your biggest problem will be attention, getting attention. So the first thing you saw me doing with those real estate agents, I'll just give you a little background on that. That was a shot from HGTV. Up to 6 months ago, I lived in Los Angeles with my beautiful wife and TV actress Elena Lyons Cardone, okay, who did not want to be my wife, who was not interested in me, okay, who thought I was too short. How many single guys in the room? Let me just see your hand. Okay. You can learn a lot from me. Okay? And I can help you in a lot of areas. Because it's all the same presentation. She didn't want to go out with me because I was too short, I wasn't in the movie industry, and she thought I was too conservative. Those aren't objections. Those are complaints. Those are mere complaints. That's all they are. You see, you have to know the difference. They're just complaints. So what? Okay? I followed her up for 13 months, twice a month, called her twice a month for 13 months. Her friend said, hey, it's like you're stalking her. I said, it's not stalking when it works. Okay? It's commitment, man. It's commitment. You see, the first problem with getting her is what? I need to get her attention. Then I'm going to get her criticism. At least I got her attention. If she never criticized me, I would never have had her attention. See, if you want a job, you got to get somebody's attention first. So I get a phone call one day. We were selling our home in Los Angeles. And that particular house you saw had gotten a lot of attention because of its location and some previous owners. This group calls us up and says, we just shot our season HGTV, Selling LA. It's a show, like Selling New York. Any of you seen that show? And we just shot our whole season, and we want to come up to your house because we want to take some shots for collateral because you have this unbelievable view. I'm like, yeah, be here tomorrow morning at 8:30. Bring your crew. You bring in live video? Yeah, live video and still shots. Good. Bring your crew up. I'll be here at 8:30 to show you around. These guys come up at the bottom of my stairs. They got to walk up. I said, hey, 8:30 in the morning. Turn that camera on. What am I doing right now? Getting their attention. Hey. That's how you get attention. Hey. It's not any more sophisticated than that. You don't need to complicate it. You need to burst through the noise. And most people do not do this, okay? Now I'm going to tell you, we spent money to advertise in Miami. We want to hire people in Miami. 1,300 people respond, and they can't get my attention. I'm spending more time and energy getting their attention with what do you call it? Tweeter? You know, this guy don't need Tweeter, man. He's got hundreds of millions of dollars packed away. You need Tweeter. Everybody agree? You need Twitter because Twitter is a way to get people's attention. For those of you in the room, I'm 55 years old, okay? I have no business using Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and Google+. I have no business understanding how to use those mechanisms, but I beat them to death because they are ways to burst through noise and get attention, okay? It's a way to get attention, but it requires persistence. So this crew comes, they come up with their cameras. I'm like, hey, turn that camera on, son. I'm from the South. I'm from Louisiana. Turn that camera on, boy, right now. Come on. He's like, huh? Turn that camera on. Is it loaded? Do you have battery in it? Turn it on and follow me. And he walks into the house. I said, do you see the ceiling in that house right there? That's over 25 feet. 25 feet to the ceiling, man. Okay? When planes fly from Burbank to Los Angeles over my house, they got to call air traffic control just to get clearance. Hey, you see those wood beams up there? On Noah's Ark. You feeling me? Huh? What am I doing right now? The cameramen are sitting there just cracking up laughing. They're like, can you do that again? And then they put it on stop, and he says, I got to make a phone call. He calls his studio, HGTV. He calls the producer of the show and says, we need to shoot the first show right here. And the producer's like, we got all the shows. He's like, no, listen to me. We have to shoot the show here. And sure enough, that's where they shot the first show. We ended up selling that house because of that show. Yeah. Thank you, Richard. Thank you. And I got all the money, too, let me tell you right now. In a down market, a bad market, the real estate agent, I said, who's going to set the price on this house? He's like, well, it's the comps. It's what other neighbors' homes have so far. I said, pal, let me tell you something. I set the value here, not the marketplace. My whole life has been about me setting the value for what I'm worth. If you do not determine your own value in the marketplace will never pay you what you're worth. Ever. Okay? And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Let's see if this is up here. Yeah. Success, okay? What is success? What is this thing called success? For me, let me tell you what it is, okay? Success is the difference between my potential and my reality. If you've ever wondered why extremely successful people, these guys are extremely successful, okay? They cannot, if you measure success by money, they cannot possibly spend the money that worked so hard to create. It's impossible, okay? Would that be fair to say?
Well, sit next to this guy.
Okay?
He's worried I'm going to ask him for it.
Yeah. And I'm worried you're not. You know, because at least if he gives the money, at least if he invests the money here, it'll never go away.
Exactly.
Because it continues to be reinvested in people. Would you agree? So look, a lot of people think when they think success, they think somebody's talking about money. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about the achievement of the gap. I want to close the gap. I want to close the gap between my potential and what I'm experiencing. And that could be in my marriage, it could be with my children, it could be as a father, it could be as a role model, it could be as a businessman, it could be as a trainer, it could be as, what's my potential? It could be working out in the gym, it could be my body, right? What is my potential? Here's my reality. I'm 4 or 5 pounds overweight. What's my reality? Oh, my reality is the perfect way. Why don't I go for that? See, the achievement of this gap is what actually drives the individual. If you've ever been dissatisfied with your life, where your life is, you don't know it, maybe you don't know it, but now you know it. It's because the gap isn't filled up. This is what drives people to continue on, to keep going, because they're looking to fulfill this gap. That's what should drive you, okay? Now, I wrote a book in the last, Rick made this comment, okay? In 2008, when the economy collapsed, how many remember when Lehman's collapsed? Or Lehman collapsed, right? Remember? How do you get the images out of your head? 2 most significant events in my life were when I was 25 years old, I was selling automobiles because it was the only job I could get. And I hated my job. I hated selling cars. And a guy came to me one day and he said to me, he's like, man, when are you going to commit? I'm like, huh? He's like, you keep talking about the car business and how bad the car business is and you hate the car business and you don't like selling cars and you didn't get a degree to sell cars. He's like, when are you going to commit? And I'm like, what are we talking about? He's like, dude, you don't commit. You're going to hate everything you do. Car business isn't a problem. It's your lack of commitment. That was a turning point for me. I'm like, oh, the guy's right. He told me the truth. My problem was I never committed. How can I be great at anything if you don't commit? Nobody wants to be average. Look, average is an epidemic in this country. You guys noticing that? How many of you notice? Everybody's okay with being average. Average grades, average participation, average involvement, average money, average lifestyles, right? Most people living beyond their average only when it comes to spending, not when it comes to greatness. And Lehman happens. And who gets blamed for Lehman? The banks. Hey man, let me tell you something. What is happening to the middle class right now is not the banks and it's not politics. It's because the middle class, the beliefs of the middle class do no longer work. They're built on average. They're built on just enough. And I realized when Lehman happened, I was watching TV in Los Angeles. My wife's like, what's happening? This looks terrible. I said, baby, this is the opportunity of our lifetime. This is the moment when the whole world goes into monster, massive contraction, because that's what's about to happen. This planet is going to go into a massive contraction. And when they do, everybody around me, everybody I play with, compete with, everybody I do business with, is going to retreat. They're going to go into a retreat. So we're either going to go down swinging in a massive attack, okay, or we're going to go down. Either way, we're going down. But we're going to go down swinging. Okay? I'm going down swinging. So this is what I did. I've been wanting to write books since I was 6 years old. How many of you would like to write a book one day? Everybody should. No more? Okay? So I wrote a book. This book was written on a Sunday afternoon after Lehman collapsed. It took 3 hours to write that book. That book had been pinned up in me waiting to be written. What happened when Lehman collapsed was that everybody that weekend became a salesperson. Whether you owned a bank, George Gonzalez owned City National Bank, okay? That weekend, here in town, George became a salesman, right? You own a real estate company. Half the real estate agents left because they never belonged in real estate. Now the real estate agent that owns the firm is now selling real estate. Everybody agree? You're trying to sell your house. You can't sell your house. Now you definitely got to sell your house. Everybody became a salesperson that weekend, okay? Now, the reason I'm writing books is why? Keep in mind, just do the math here. The average American reads 1 book a year. The average American reads one book a year. Half the books sold in this country are romance novels. And I'm writing a book when Lehman collapsed. You don't write books for money, right? Okay, first book, Sell or Be Sold. 3 months later, I wrote this book called Closer Survival Guide. Neither one of these books are published. These are self-published books. I paid to have them made. Because I couldn't get a publishing company in 2008 to write a book because they've already done the math. Average American reads one book a year, watches 700 videos on YouTube, meaningless videos, okay? Watches 700 videos on YouTube. There's no money in books anymore. Why would we write a book by a guy named Grant Cardone? He's no name. You with me? So I self-publish the books. It's costing me money to do this, okay? These 2 books, the first book sells about 40,000 copies in a year. It's never been on a bookshelf. Okay, second book sells about the same number. Never been on a bookshelf. You cannot buy this in a library. What am I doing? Both these books were put together so fast. Brilliant material, misspelled words all over the place. Guy calls me on the phone. Is it true? Guy calls me on the phone. Dude, you use semicolons and exclamation marks, commas, and periods more than any person I've ever seen. He's like, the material's unbelievable, but bro, you got misspelled words on 23, 26, 28, 64. I mean, the guy starts just, he sends me an Excel spreadsheet of every misspelled word. I'm like, but what's your point? He's like, what? I said, what's your point, man? They got misspelled words in the book. What's your point? He's like, man, you got to edit that book. We edited it 3 times. It's a bestseller, son. It ain't a best written. Now, the success of these 2 books got a publishing company to pay attention to me, okay? And I wrote this book. If you're not first, you're last. This was not the original title of the book, okay? Later on today, if you follow me on Twitter, at Grant Cardone, you'll see the original title. I'm not going to say it here, okay? It's a little gritty. This is a book about how to fill up your pipeline, okay? See, the success of these 2 books got me this book deal. Why? Because I got attention. You with me? And this book just came out about 9 months ago called The 10X Rule. This book's magic, okay? Now, the reason I'm telling you that is this. There's no money in books, so why am I writing books? To get attention. Who do I want attention from? Readers. Who reads books? People that are going someplace. Okay, you know the name Bill Gross? Anybody in here know that name? Bill Gross owns a company called PIMCO. PIMCO is the largest bond fund in the world. We're talking almost $500 billion. The largest in the world. Nobody's close to what Bill Gross created. Bill Gross is looking at my house. In 2010, Bill Gross can buy it. Bill Gross doesn't have bad economy. He's multi-billionaire, okay? He comes into my house. The real estate agent says, don't talk to Mr. Gross. I said, tell Mr. Gross not to talk to me. And I won't talk to him. Oh, yeah, Mr. Gross doesn't like attention. I said, Mr. Gross is on MSNBC and CNBC 3 times a week, dude. What do you mean he doesn't want attention? Are you nuts? Okay. Look, you're a little small real estate agent that's getting smaller and smaller every time you open your mouth. You're contracting. You're actually on a retreat. Do you understand? There's four levels of action, and you're on number 2 right now. You're in retreat telling me what not to do. Because you are getting so small, you're so worried about Mr. Gross and his money because your pipeline's not full enough. You understand what I'm saying? You're so worried about offending one customer because that's the only customer you have. You got to fill your pipeline up. You with me? You don't trust one book. You can't trust one interview. Right? You want to reach up to your friends. I want to grab people that have things. I want to have people that can influence. Bill Gross comes into my house, looks at the house, decides the house is not for him, comes into my office. I happen to be sitting in the office. The 4 books are sitting on my office. I haven't talked to Mr. Gross. What does he notice on the desk? The only question he asked while he was in the house, tell me about the books. Why? Because he's a player. He's a learner. He's a big earner. You know the difference between the people that don't make money in this country and the people that do make? It's not their religion. It's not the color of their skin. It is not even their education. It's their readers. Okay? The CEOs in America in 2008, the top earning CEOs average 5 books a month, and they're not in college anymore. They're readers after college, not just during college. So folks, you got to learn, all right? You have to learn things like this. There's 4 levels of action. You do these every day, okay? There's 4 levels of action. You know what no action is, right? That's that empty chair next to you. That's somebody not taking action. They didn't fill the chair up. They're not here. Okay, everybody in the room has done this before. You didn't take an action. You had an idea. I'm going to go do this interview, and then you didn't show up for it. Okay? Number 2 is retreat. You actually back up from something. You had a bad experience. You asked a girl out. She said no. So you're like, you know what? I'm done. I'm staying home. I'm going to be by myself. I love football. I love football, and I'm going to watch it with me and the boys. That's a retreat. You have retreated. Maybe you made an investment. It didn't work out. I'll never do that again. Maybe you saw your mom get foreclosed on. You saw her get foreclosed, and you've decided, by the way, a lot of millennials have decided never to buy a home. Why? They saw their parents buy homes, get foreclosed on, and they think, I'm going to retreat from that activity. You have people leaving college today, not even trying to go get a job because their buddies told them, nobody's hiring, bro. Nobody's hiring. Oh, there is a new guy that flew in from Los Angeles, him and his family. He just set up shop 4 or 5 months ago. He's hiring. Every week he's hiring somebody. I'm not even in this town. Me and Rick are trying to turn around the job problem in Florida by ourselves. But we can't because we have average people showing up that are in retreat or won't take any action at all. The third, which is the most dangerous, by the way, if you're taking notes, number 3 is the most dangerous of all 4, is normal levels of activity. Because normal levels of activity are tricky. See, number 1 and number 2 aren't tricky. Would you agree? Guy's not doing anything. He's loafing. He's at home smoking weed, doing nothing. Whatever, right? It happens. Is that a real world example? Okay? Colorado's legalized it. Okay? Do you know before they legalized it, Colorado had more marijuana dispensaries than McDonald's and Starbucks combined in Denver. And then we wonder why people aren't doing anything. Dude, you can't do anything. How can you do anything? You got no energy for anything. Okay? So the guy's doing nothing, or he's in retreat. Those are obvious. You can see somebody when they're retreating. But the third one's tricky, right? Because he actually looks like he's doing something. He's the most dangerous employee you can have. He's the most dangerous friend you can have because he tells you, dude, hey, we studied. We studied, man. Come on, let's go play now. We did our part. It's normal, okay? It's nothing exceptional or extraordinary about this level of action. It is what everybody does. And the problem with that is you get lost with everybody. Number 4, which I believe is the only level of activity that you want to operate at, is massive amounts of activity. Now, massive, for you to be at massive levels of activity, this is what you would have to do. You'd have to have new problems, okay? I'm going to go take enough action like this morning, okay? I know that I'm in massive when I wake up in the morning and I have 4 things to do that I've committed to that I can't get out of, and I have to get here by 10:15, which y'all said 10 o'clock. And I'm like, that's impossible. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? Do I erase this? Do I take this off? Do I call Catherine up and say I can't do this? No. Commit to everything and have a new problem. Massive action, massive activity levels will create new problems. If you don't have new problems, everybody's got problems. Raise your hand if you got a problem in your life. Everybody's got them, right? You're always going to have them. There's no way to get rid of them. Okay? I wake up with laryngitis this morning. It's a problem. Okay? I could retreat. I could be normal. I could be average. I could say I can't do it. But I'm like, no, just talk over the laryngitis. Dude, just roll through it. Beat it to death. It's just a body. Use it. Right? If it's going to break on my terms. If I'm going to get rejected, reject on my terms. If I'm going to blow a sale or an interview, it's going to be on my terms. When you leave here, that's how you need to operate. Because otherwise, nobody will know you exist. Because the first 3 don't exist. In the real world, nobody pays them. Nobody pays attention to them. Nobody will know you even walked in a room. Would you agree? The 4th one is exceptional. Oh my God, who is this person? And I'm going to give you some examples of that today. Here's your biggest challenges. You only have 3 challenges. It's not the economy. It's not politics. It's not money. The first biggest challenge you have is obscurity. I don't know you. If I don't know you, I cannot hire you. If I don't know you, I cannot buy your services. If I don't know you, I cannot fund your activities or your brainchild next business. You're going to be the next billion-dollar guy. Dude, if I don't know you, I can't help you. You got a charity or something you want to help. If I don't know you, it don't matter. Everybody agree with that? The word obscurity means I don't know you. Or it means I know you, but I'm not thinking about you. Which is the case for, oh, yeah, you know what? Gosh, man, yeah. Oh, we already filled the position, though. Dang, yeah, you'd have been perfect. I know you, I just wasn't thinking about you. Shame on you. It's because you didn't take enough activity. You didn't create enough action, right? The second problem you have is uncertainty. I'm uncertain about myself. Now, this problem is actually, it's artificial, and it's actually created. This uncertainty problem that we have in America today and around the world is actually artificial. It's not normal to be uncertain. It's not normal to be lazy. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, okay? Most of you probably don't have 3-year-olds. You're either too old or too young. So I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. Now, if you have kids, anybody in the room have kids that young? Is it normal for them to be lazy? Is it? No, at 3 years old, there is no lazy. If they're lazy, they're sick. My little girl, I got a picture right now. I wish I could show it to you. She's, Papa, throw me through the air. Like, I'd be happy to, baby. Let's roll. We live on the 27th floor of a condo. Let's do it. So I take her to the bedroom, right? And I just toss her in the air. How high does she go? She can almost touch the ceiling on her way down, okay? Could she break her body? Sure she could. Okay? The 1-year-old is interested in electrical sockets. I mean, you ever notice these kids? Oh, my God. I'm like, do it. Do it. Go for it, man. Go for it, man. Hit it. I got a butter knife right here. Let me lick it for you. I'll get you a good connection. Now, why would I do that? Okay, my wife's sitting there freaking out, right? She's just, oh, don't. I give her 2 of them. The reason I want to do that is because I don't want to stop her, right? I want her to have experiences. I don't want to tell them no. Look, they're going to grow up and be told no. My 3-year-old's in class. We went to a teacher's conference the other day, and the teacher's like, hey, we want to put the 3-year-old in a reading class. I'm like, yeah, okay. Are you going to come? No, I'm not going to come. You're going to teach her to read. I'm not even worried about it. There is no chance my daughter won't know how to read, write, and count. Not even worried about it. My job is to teach her how to burst through noise. Okay? How to be interested in electrical sockets and flying through the air. And look, teach her how to speak Mandarin while we're at it. Because I'm not worried about her learning. I'm worried about her doing. Right? That's what you need to be worried about now. The more I know, though, the more I can do. Would you agree? So this second thing, uncertainty. People are uncertain because of the media. The media's job is to make people uncertain. That is their product. Their product is to keep you in a chair, sitting right there, ordering stuff from TV. Their job is uncertainty. MSNBC, CNBC, CNN, they're merchants of uncertainty. That is their product. Anderson Cooper's only job is to keep you on a sofa. Oh, can you believe what's happening today? Oh my God! Okay, when Anderson runs out of material, they actually fly him to a city. He does the same tour. You ever notice? He'll do Katrina. When they run out of good stuff, they'll just go back to New Orleans. Every September, the whole month's covered in New York, 9/11. They'll do that for the next 75 years. They are merchants of uncertainty. Their job is to make you uncertain and not sure. They don't report good news. How many millions of people do you think drove to work today? Or drove to school? And did not. I drove over here. I didn't hit anything. She thought I was 3 or 4 or 5 times. I didn't hit a thing. Okay? What will be reported tonight on the news? The car wreck. Right? So uncertainty, that's a problem you have. Everybody in the room has this problem. Most people do nothing to defend themselves against this problem. And the third one is persistence. These are your three major problems when you leave school. Okay. Hey, obscurity, nobody knows me. Number two is uncertainty. I'm uncertain about myself. I got my buddies telling me nobody's hiring. It's not true. That's a complete myth. And number three, and even if everybody was not hiring, you just want to find the one or two people that are. And number three is persistence. How do I persist when she says, hey, I'm not interested in you. Leave me alone. You're too short. You're not my type. Even my mother told me. I called my mom after I met her. Found the woman I'm going to marry. Complete certainty. 100%. She will have my children. My mom's like, have y'all been out yet? Because she knew how I was, right? She's like, have y'all been out yet? I'm like, no. Well, Grant, you know it takes two. That's a myth. That's a myth. It does not take two. It takes one person making a decision. It takes one person to make a decision. Steve Jobs did not check with the world when he built an iPhone. If he would have checked with the world, they would have said, do not build that device. Too much competition. Howard Schultz with Starbucks, if he would have checked with people, he would have never, ever, ever done this. His father-in-law tried to talk him out of it. He would have never done this. Right? Hey, who wants $4 coffee? What y'all think? Huh? Huh? We'll put one on every freaking corner in the world. And people will quit drinking coffee at home for free. We'll put a little green chick. And people will give us billions of dollars. We'll go public. And the stock will continue to do this during the worst economic contraction in the history of the United States of America. And Steve Jobs, we'll build one of these. I'll build one of these. Everybody told Steve, don't do it, don't do it. Nokia's out there, BlackBerry's out there, you'll get killed. There's no money in phones. He said, I'm going to make a phone so sexy that people will want to lick. They'll want to lick the buttons off of it. How many of you got an iPhone? How many of you have licked your iPhone before? I had to get it out of the way, okay? Okay, so watch. Can you believe that, Richard? Okay, so check it out. Yeah, I made it clear. I did my little thing. So, okay, we ran an ad. I want 1,300. I want to hire these positions: social media, websites, salespeople, telemarketers, translators, copywriters. John, what else did we advertise for? Receptionists, you name it.
Translators.
Okay, I said translators already. That's not what I mean when I talk about support. Okay, and we get 1,300. We get 1,300 resumes. The next round for me, if you're an executive, you definitely want to use this. Is Mr. Cardone would now like to see a video, because I don't look at people's resumes. A resume is just, okay, we did that. Now, I want to see a video. I'll never look at a resume. You bring me your resume, I don't care how perfectly it's written. I don't care what you spin on it. I don't really care what it says. I know what it says. I've read enough of them to know it's going to say this: loyal. I'm loyal. That's not even a requirement for me. Okay? I don't need loyal. I need productive. Because if you're productive, you'll be loyal. So my next round is this: send me a video. The video must be 60 seconds long. And that's it. That's all I tell you. You know how many people write us? What should I say? Dude, if you can't figure it out, I don't want to. You just told me I will not hire you. That's what you told me. Oh, one guy says, I spent the last 4 hours. This is Jack calling me. I just spent the last 4 hours trying to figure out how to send a video. Bro, I know for sure I will not hire you. Okay. And I'll probably not hire you if you send me this, which was sent to us 1.5 weeks ago. Oops.
So I am sitting here on the beach wondering why Grant Cardone did not respond to my email. And then I realized that he wanted a 60-second video. So here it goes. My name is Nancy Macarius. I graduated high school when I was 15, went into a radio and now I'm a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration and Accounting. My dream was to come down to Miami, Florida, and it just so happens that the greatest closing salesperson in the world just opened an office, and I would love to work with you. I'm a very hard worker, and
And I'm loyal.
982-3195. 60 seconds is up.
Yeah. That was shot from the beach. Okay. It got my attention. It did get my attention. Okay. And we hired her. Can you believe that? Can you believe with that sloppy video that we hired her from the beach? Because the next day, I was on a radio show that I do on Wednesdays and Fridays, and I said, can you believe this chick sent me a video from the beach? She sent us another video. Hey, because she was listening to the radio show. I said, I'm not hiring a stripper. She heard me say this on the radio show, so what did she do? She got my attention, right or wrong. She did get my attention. Now what she's got to do, she created a problem for herself. Now she's got to persist, even though she screwed up. She persisted so well, we actually hired her. Here's the problem with that video. Every time I walk into my office, what do I think about? The first video. She's been with us 4 or 5 days. Every time I walk in, I'm like, oh yeah, we did that. We did that. She's going to have to be a super performer, otherwise she'll probably get cut. Why? Because the first impression's sitting there. Okay, now let me show you the right way to do this. We also sent this out, and we got this.
I was told to put a 60-second video, which I thought in the beginning was kind of funny, but then I thought, why not? It's fine. So here comes. My name is Melina Luna. I do social media marketing, which means that I will try my best to understand your idea, your vision, your statement, your intention, and I will find the best and fun way to communicate what you want to exposure to communities that are interested in the internet and they're interested in what you have to say. On top of being a social media freak, I also do photography, I love editing. I think I'm also very organized, focused, and fast learner. And I also can offer all my energy to create. What else? Oh, I was born and raised in Argentina, but I've been living here for around 10 years, so I can speak a little bit of English, a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of Italian, but I wish I could speak French. To be honest with you, I didn't know why I want to work in your company, but then I searched your Facebook page, I searched your website, I searched your videos. I really would like to work with this group as matched your group, and I'm sure about it. Would love to work with me. Brian, Cardone, merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
A little different video, right? More professional, okay? Who you think got paid most? We hired them both. She gets paid 3 times more than the other person. So what did she solve? She solved some problems. Obscurity, she solved. Okay, she's got a good message. Hey, this is who I am. She builds value. She did her research about who I am. Okay? That's what you're going to be faced with when you leave here. You're going to be faced when you leave here to go get a job in the marketplace or not get a job. It's going to be up to you. It will not be up to the economy. You're going to make a decision. And it's so easy to do right now, folks. Here's the good news. The marketplace is so beat up with bad news that, and it's going to continue because you got 800 TV channels and endless radio puking bad news on everybody that you compete with for a job. This is what you'll have to do when you leave here. Number 1, this is the 4 steps you must take, everybody takes to be successful. Whatever your endeavor is, if you want to be successful, you have to do these 4 things. Number 1, you must get attention. Hey. If I'm on a street corner trying to raise money, he's earning a quarter. The other night we were down at Lincoln. And me and John, this guy comes up, dude, can you lend me a quarter? Bro, I don't keep change on me. It's too heavy. And it's basically useless. Can't help you. But I got some advice for you, my brother. What's that? Change your ask. He's like, what? Change what you ask for. You're doing the right thing. You got my attention. Your problem is you need to increase the ask. He's like, what's the ask? A-S-K, ask. Ask for $100. Don't ask for a quarter. And be willing to be criticized for it, because you're getting criticized either way. Everybody agree? Right now I'm criticizing you for your clothes, your body odor, and that you're taking up my time when I'm trying to go to dinner. That's what I'm going to criticize you for. So at least change your ass, because now you got a shot at getting a 20. Don't change your clothes. Don't change your body odor. It's part of being homeless. It's part of your pitch. You can't do the homeless thing cleaned up. Get attention, and then get criticism. You're going to be criticized. How many agree you're going to be criticized? Hey, you need more criticism, not less. The winners get criticized. Okay? Actually, whatever you get criticism for, whatever it is you get criticism for, you want to do more of. Put a little plus sign on the outside of criticism, because you want to get more attention for the exact thing you got criticized for until you have some haters. Step 3, you need haters. Okay? There's people that hate these people in this town. Right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, let me tell you how important it is to get haters. If I could get half the country to hate me, I could be president of the United States. It is vital that you get haters. I didn't know this until I was 51 years old. I've been trying to get people to like me my whole life. It's stupid. It don't work. You got to get people to not like you, because the haters will promote you. If you're in business and you're doing a big press, you're doing a big push into the marketplace, the first people that are going to talk about you is your competition. When I started writing these books, people that I used to compete with, that I don't compete with anymore, who does Cardone think he is? Oh, he's writing another book. Ain't he big? See, they're criticizing me. I need more than criticism. I need haters. Because haters, they put some passion into the pitch. They really promote you, okay? 3 years ago, I didn't have a Twitter account. There's almost 275,000 people on Twitter right now, because I use this formula right here, okay? We probably get 50 to 60 retweets a day. That means people taking some piece of data and tweeting it back out to the universe. They're promoting my message. Like it or don't like it, they're promoting me. Who's done this extremely well? Who's done this formula extremely well? Lindsay Lohan. How about the Kardashians? Unbelievable. Hey. Huh? Check this out. Right? People criticize her. What does she do? Her and her sisters? Let's do more of it. Let's get mom involved. Let's do a reality show. Right? They did more of it, got haters, and then they persisted until they got admiration. Admiration comes in the form of contracts, money, jobs, income. Right? Hey, come to our party. Okay, so what do you got to do? Getting a job. How are you going to use that formula? First, you're going to identify. This is what I would suggest to you if you're looking for a job. Do not look at an industry. Do not look at an industry. Make a name of 3 to 5 people you want to work for. 3 to 5 people you want to work for. Identify the 3 to 5. That way you're in control. You with me? You're in control. I want to work for Grant Cardone, Rick Case. I want to work for Mr. Smith. I want to work for these 2 other people. Okay, I want to work for George Gonzalez at City National. Target those 5 people, then find out what they want. Engage them. Do not engage their HR department. Do not engage the HR department. The HR department will not hire you. I'll hire you. Let's say we had a meeting yesterday, me and John Lamb. John, no more hiring people. We're not hiring anymore. John's my chief marketing officer here in Miami. Give him a big hello. If my voice makes it here. So I said, John, no more hiring, okay? Then Ryan walks up to me 5 minutes later. Hey, man, let me tell you what I can do for you. Let's hire him. See, the executive that gave the order, don't hire anybody else, is the only person that can come back and say, what? You're hired right now. That's why the HR department, if I told him don't hire anybody else, what would he say? Don't look at any more resumes. You come to me and you really impress me and get my attention, hey, we can hire somebody. That's why I'm telling you, don't use the HR department. They're basically a screen, a filter, they're a block. They're not a way to get the ball into the end zone. Number 3, value proposition. What is it? What is your value proposition? Why are you valuable? Here's where I'm going to make a big claim. I'm going to tell a person in an interview, you will never, ever, ever be able to find somebody like me. Y'all were at a job fair. How many people did y'all look at this week? Out of the hundreds of people, Richard, that you looked at, did anybody say, I am exceptional? You will never, ever be able to find another human being like me.
One person.
Yeah. You want to be a one percenter? That's what I want. I want to be in that really small, I want to be in the successful. Okay? And the fourth thing you got to do is you got to be able to close a transaction. You got to be able to close a transaction. That is, when do I start? Well, get back to me Monday. All right? All right, I'll get back to you Monday, but how about I start between now and then? I'll just start for nothing. That's what I'm making now anyway. I don't even need a desk. I got my own pen. What do you expect of me? And you start. You don't need any money. You need to close him and start, and he'll give you the money later. Business owners have money. They don't have you. You got to decide if you're going to make a difference here. See, the value proposition is this. Until you're clear about your value proposition, you're never going to get paid anything of value. This is what's wrong with America right now. See, they're like, I'm not valuable. There's no money. I'm not going to get anything of value. And then they complain and blame. Oh my gosh, it's the economy. It's not the economy. It's never the economy. It's those people. Would you agree? You got to decide, what is my value proposition? I'm loyal. I'm dependable. I have good grades. Yeah, dude, I can replace you with 1,000 people. That is not your value proposition. Okay? These people are valuable. Michael Jordan, Warren Buffett, Steve Jobs, Oprah, Navy SEALs, my mom. Valuable. They're valuable. Why? What do they have in common? They're committed people. They're committed. All of them are committed. My mother was committed, devoted, obsessed, obsessive. Somebody told me recently, dude, you're like an obsessed human being. I was like, yeah, I am. You take medication for that? Dude, why would I medicate a gift? You can't show me highly successful people that aren't obsessed. My mother was obsessed making sure these three boys got through college. Okay? Steve Jobs was obsessed at getting his products to the marketplace. Persistent. They're persistent. They persist through problems. They're unreasonable people. You want to be completely unreasonable with the marketplace. You don't want to make reason with the marketplace. Oh, there's nobody hiring. There's a contraction. Housing hasn't come back. Be unreasonable, not reasonable. And you want to be duty-driven. Why am I doing this? What's the importance? Why do I do what I do? See, for me, if you're taking notes, for me, success is my duty. I told John today, I said, John, order a bat. I need a bat in my office. And I wanted to say, success is my duty. And if I got to go club people over the head with this thing, I will. Because that's how important it is to me. Success is my duty. It's my obligation. It's my responsibility to create success. For me, success is a spiritual obligation to fulfill that gap. That's what drives most people, whether you know it or not. Okay? That's my obligation to have that. That's how my mother's job was to make her boys successful, to get them at least a shot. If you own a company, your job is to push success on your people. If they leave your company, let them leave. So your assignment when you leave here, if you choose to take this, look, you got to learn how to sell. Okay? You got to learn how to sell. I'm giving you a 45-minute presentation on this. You got to learn how to sell. Daily, you got to be connected to something that teaches you this thing that you have been taught to not like. In America, we have a disdain for this thing called selling. But if you go to Mexico, or you go to India, or you go to China, and you say, Grant Cardone is an expert salesperson, they'll be like, oh my God, tell me. I'll have more people in a room than the brain surgeon will. Because they know the way to build their wealth is through selling. No product, no idea, no mission ever became a reality without somebody selling that concept. Number two, you got to get so much attention that you're hated for it. You guys get that concept? You get that? You got to get hated for it. Okay? You're not running for school popularity contests in the marketplace. Somebody's going to dislike you if you get successful. They're going to try to make you wrong. And number three, you need daily motivation. The daily motivation is just to counter the negative demotivation that you don't know you're getting every day. You're getting it from your friends. You're getting it from your family. Would you agree? You get it. You get it from your surroundings. You get it from the media. You get it from radio. And number 4, make success your duty. I'm going to give you these. I'm going to give you these while I open it up for questions. These are some resources that you can use. Before I take questions, I'd like to hear, what did you get out of this today? One thing that you got out of this. Anybody?
I'm not hated enough.
People don't hate her enough. Whatever you think you want, okay, whatever you think you want, whatever your goals are. Hey. Attention, okay? Energy. Use energy, okay? What else? Say again? Action. 10 times the action. Whatever you think it's going to take, multiply times 10. Whatever you think you want, I want to be a millionaire, multiply times 10.
Build value in everything you do.
Build value in everything you do.
Commit to everything and then deal with it.
Do commit first, figure the rest out later. Persist. Hey, success is my duty. Don't watch the news.
You made me write something to one of my clients and maybe hated me later, but I want to get his attention.
Say that again.
You made me write something because I got motivated to one of my clients. He may hate me later, but I wanted to get his attention.
Exactly. Get his attention. Okay, what else?
Understand what you bring to the table, know your value.
Dude, what do you bring to the table? A client told me, he's like, I can get your product cheaper somewhere else. I'm like, all right, what's your point? I don't understand what your point is. He's like, I can get what you got cheaper somewhere. I can get this book on Amazon for half price. Okay. You ain't at Amazon today. And Amazon's not going to sign it for you, dog. Okay. By the way, Rick Case, if you have a red book in your hand, Rick Case made these available to you. Okay? Give Rick a big hand for doing that. I'll sign it for you before you leave here today. If you have a copy, I'm happy to sign it for you. Put a little note in there. And if you want, I'll get you the other 3 for $60. Because unlike Rick, I don't just give stuff away. Okay. See, I don't think there's anything wrong with me getting your money for this. I think it's part of the exchange. Right? I've written more books in the last 4 years than most people will read in their lifetime. That should let you know the condition of your competition. They don't read. Oh my God, it's so competitive out there. Do you know what you're saying right now? You're saying, I am an idiot that has been deceived by the media. Okay, questions? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I tend to be an all-out kind of personality, probably a little bit like you. How do you avoid burnout?
Good question. Good question. I don't think burnout actually exists.
Because people are always like, Taylor, be careful, you're going to burn out.
That exists. Because you weren't burning out. It's them. They're trying to stop you right now. Look, when you're passionate about what you're doing, you do not burn on it. When you're all purpose, when you're not doing what you should be doing, you will burn. I'm burning out. It's because you're not on fire. There's no such thing as burnout. I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of big hitters, and they're like, well, I don't know. I always hear about this burnout thing. You know what it is? It's always from mid-level achievers that are not stimulated by the gap. What's the gap? The difference between your reality and your potential. Okay, what else? Other questions? Okay, I got some in my hand.
How do you always become the best person you can be every day?
How do I become the best person that I can be every day? You know, I don't know that I try to be the best person. I just go for everything, you know. We're driving over here, and we're running behind schedule, and I'm like, dude, let's stop at that Starbucks at the university, okay? I don't even know where we're going. I got in my car this morning. I didn't have it mapped out. I got in my car. Where are we going? My wife's like, where are we going? North. Somebody's got to figure this out on the way over there, okay? By the time we get close, then we realize we don't know where we're going. It would be helpful, okay? We see the Starbucks. We don't have time. Go for it, man. The way to be the best you is to go for it.
Grant, would you agree that you have to have a vision before the activity follows?
You know, maybe. But maybe you just need to start taking action, and then you'll, you know, like most of the time I don't really know what I'm doing.
But like your why. Why are you doing it?
Oh, the why is important, you know. You know, I wanted to buy real estate. I want to buy real estate. I want to buy real estate in Florida. But I'm in Los Angeles. It's very difficult to buy real estate from Los Angeles. But I know I want to. So now why do I want to do that? Good. Now what do I got to do? I got to go through that formula. The formula is this. That's the formula. I got to get attention. Otherwise nobody will sell it to me because they won't know who I am. Okay, what else?
Brian, could you tell us why you chose Miami Beach as your new home?
6 months ago, I called her. We had our house on the market for sale. We had a bit of a we had some extensions in it until we found out where we wanted to go. And I was doing a speaking gig down in South Beach. I was driving across the 395? The Causeway, is that the 395? And I called my wife. I'm like, oh my God, we're moving to Miami Beach. And she's like, all right. That was our investigation. And we moved 2 kids and our whole family and everything over here, okay? And then you know what people told me? That must have been really hard. No, it really wasn't. Yeah, that helped. Somebody said, how do you like Florida? I said, I like it 13.3% more than California. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Brad. I'm really excited to be able to give this presentation because tomorrow I'm leaving to go to be a delegate at the United Nations, and I needed this type of energy.
Wow.
I really needed it.
Wow.
But the one thing I wanted to ask is...
You'll definitely be meeting a bunch of average people.
I hope I'm definitely not one of those. How do you deal with people when they say you're doing too much, or you're too involved, or you're too engaged? Do you respond to them? Do you listen to them?
Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, you don't want to make those people wrong because that is most people. Look, if you're going to operate at that level, you are definitely extraordinary. And you're going to have the ordinary people judge you. That's who's judging you. Don't make them wrong. It's their reality. So just live with it. Like, yeah, I got it, you know. I've been told my whole life, man, you got ADHD, you got this problem, that. I don't have a problem. You got a problem. You want to medicate? Medicate. I don't have a problem. Okay? Well, I can't even keep your attention for 3 minutes. It's because you don't have my attention. I don't have a problem here. You don't need to label me because you don't have my attention, bro. You know, look, you're not exciting to listen to. What do you want me to tell you? I don't want your product. You don't have my attention. I got 17 or 18 files open up in my head right now. I don't even need a computer. I got Windows. I had Windows before Microsoft had Windows. I got 47 files open at all time. And the fact that you don't have my attention right now is not my problem. It's your problem. I'll close these files when you get my attention. See, most people that are highly productive, they got lots of files open. If you're going to play in the game, you're going to own multiple businesses, you're going to be in court yesterday, you got this thing today, you got a lot of stuff going on all the time. You're being pulled apart. See, what the media wants to do is they want to, do you got a problem? You have a problem that needs attention to the degree that you need to medicate. Why? Because I need you on a sofa watching my program. If you're active, you don't watch a lot of TV. You make TV. You ever hear that TV ad? Do you have Restless Leg Syndrome? Yeah, you damn right I got it. Shit, I ain't been out of a lazy boy in 3 weeks. Yes, ma'am.
From your experience, what's missing in academia that will help them be prepared when they get to where you need them to be?
Dude, all this stuff I told you about the ability to go get attention, to push through and get tremendous amounts of attention when you've been trying to be friends with everybody. You know, that's what's missing in academia. It's like it's, you know, look, you're all smart, but you need some street smart now. You need to leave this business school and say, wait a minute, what 50% of us aren't getting a job? Why? It's not because you're not smart. It's because you're not getting people's attention, and you don't know how to persist, and you deal with uncertainty every day. That's what's not being taught. And that's what each of you needs to, that's my exercise for you. Look, learn how to sell. You got to do this. This should not be a choice here. I mean, learn how to engage somebody cold. When I was 29 years old, I started my first business like this. Cold calling on clients all across America. Multi-million-dollar clients. Cold calling. Hey, you got 3 minutes? I want to show you something. Best education I ever got in my whole life. Get out of here. I ain't got time for you. Make an appointment. You got 1 minute. I remember a man in Richmond, Virginia. You got 1 minute. I'm like, 1 minute? He gave me a shot. You got 1 minute. And then I started complaining. 1 minute? I can't do anything in 1 minute. 45 seconds. And I'm like, I didn't know how to handle him. Number two, you got to get so much attention that people hate you for it. Once he throws you out, how are you going to call on him the next day, the third day, the fourth day, the fifth day, the sixth day, the seventh day, the eighth day? I got clients I've been calling on 2 and 3 times a year for 15 years, and I still hadn't gotten. They know the call's coming. I called her for 13 months. If I'm not committed, how's she ever going to get committed? Right? You know what most people do? They get a target. They see a target. This is in all areas of life. You see a target. The guy sees, oh, I like that. Oh, yeah, I want that. And then you find out you can't have it, so what does the guy do? He lowers the target. Okay, I don't get silver and shiny. I don't get 5'11" and beautiful. I'll just drop it. Okay, let's drop it. I can't get that either. Okay, I'll go home by myself. Right? Rather than saying, you know what my belief is? I'll blow my brains out before I drop my target. I might not achieve my target, but I'm not changing it. That's my target. So I encourage you to leave here. Okay, I don't think we have time for these, right? We good? We good? How are we doing on time? Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I come from Sony Pictures, and we have an operation here for Latin America. What's your vision about talent coming from Latin America or immigrants coming to the U.S. collaborate? Is that a formula that you guys see as a possibility for your business here in the U.S., and what's your perspective for international business?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, one of the reasons we like Miami is because of the internet, just this gateway here. Love it. One of our pushes this year is to go into the South American markets and provide our training. My goal right now is to have 7 billion people know my name. Impossible goal. Okay, I don't ride a camel. Okay, there's parts of the world I can't get to in my lifetime. I'm 55 years old. It's an impossible goal. I'm not going to lower the target. That's the shot. That's what I'm going to go for. So when we make decisions in my company, it's, hey, does it get us closer to the 7 billion? Good. Don't worry about what it costs. You see, because your problems, this was not one of your problems. Money's not on that list. If you own a company, money's not on the list. Those are the things on your list. So I think you have a better chance than most Americans that live here. I had a guy in New York City tell me, we don't even hire Americans anymore. If you were born in this country, we won't even hire you. He's like, I can't tell anybody that, but that's the deal here. New York City. We only hire immigrants because they're hungry. They're driven by duty. And the duty is this. My mom and dad are still back in Iran. I'm making some money, and I'm sending $10,000 to them every year, and I'm keeping the rest to raise my own family. They're duty-driven, not money-driven. Okay, what else? Yes, ma'am.
As involved as you are in the car business and real estate, what's the number one thing that you love about each individual business? Car business, real estate.
Well, you know, the thing that I like helping people. The real estate really doesn't give me that. I mean, when we buy a piece of real estate, certainly I want to make sure the people are safe there and they have a good place to live and everything. But even the car business is very limited in a vertical. Like that's one of our industries that we work in. But my deal is to help people. I love helping people. You know, I'm not being paid to be here today. I love, because that's the gap for me. The thing that money cannot make me feel like you just giving me money doesn't make me feel like, oh, I actually helped somebody. You know, the mission at our company is to make sure people are using our technology so they're winning in their lives. That's the product of our company. The product is not a book. The book is a mechanism. The product out of our company, on the bottom line of my company, it says, our product is people using our technology and winning in life. Okay, other questions? You want me to do some of these? Okay. What strategies have you used to earn the trust of your clients? Persistence. People will not trust you. They've been let down by too many other people. Persistence is the thing that will earn the most trust. When you show up the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, why did she decide to marry me? She knew I had some money before. Money wasn't it. Actually, money was a deterrent for her going out with me because she thought I was the guy that got whatever he wanted. That was a turnoff. Why did she go out with me finally? My God, persistence and certainty. He is certain. So you know when a sale takes place? When my certainty overwhelms hers. Okay, let's do it. I'm like, what took you so long? Your real estate investment and development company, how have you protected your portfolio since the downturn? The downturn actually is what protects the multifamily real estate that I bought. See, I think multifamily real estate will be the biggest boom in the American economy will be in multifamily real estate. Because there's 78 million baby boomers that aren't interested in owning a home anymore. They've already owned 3 or 4 houses. They're like, I'm done with that. I'm 75 years old now. I don't need a house. I need a place to live. And then there's about 77 million new millenniums. They're like, dude, I don't need to own a home. These people 25 years old, you in this room, you're not interested in a home right now. There's about 150 million people in the United States have no interest in owning a home. They still have an interest in a roof. So that's why I buy multifamily apartments. You've said confront what you want. How do you start this process? What is the mindset required to confront what you want and succeed? You know, you got to work on it every day. Every day I write my goals down. I don't write my goals down at New Year's. I write my goals down every morning. Every morning, every night. Here's the 3 times I write my goals down. In the morning, at night, and every time I fail. Okay? So John over here writes his goals down in January, 1 time. I write my goals down twice a day, every day, for the month of January. I write my goals down 60 times in 1 month, 720 times in 1 year. He writes his goals down once a year. Who wins? He's smarter, by the way. Who wins? I'm more driven by my goals. He's not. He's a slave. He doesn't even know why he's going to work. If you don't have your own goals, you're going to work for somebody that does. Please share your thoughts on ethics. Is it better or worse today? Okay? I think ethics is misunderstood. This is going to be my last question. I think ethics is misunderstood. Ethics for me is fulfilling my gap. And I think when you talk about ethics with most people, it's about telling the truth. I think most people do tell the truth. I think most people are good people. I think most people lie to themselves because they don't fill the gap. And I encourage you to leave here and fill the gap between your reality and your potential. Thank you very much.